method helping entrepreneurs shift their money mindset, restructure pricing for profitability, and pay themselves abundantly. She's also a best-selling author of Give Yourself a Raise, The Mindset and Math You Need to Get Your First Million. Off the clock, Erin is a mom of two who enjoys travel, wine, and cheese. Hey, Erin, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Doing wonderful. My kids returned to school yesterday, so yay!
And I know you took a pause. You do your little
Yeah.
summer pause, which we'll get into because it's a
Yeah.
part of why you perform so well. I just want to share with viewers a little bit that I know about you. Is I read your book, and first of all, it's hilarious.
Oh,
Like
thank you.
you made me laugh so much with "Shut the fuck up" and like all
Yeah.
that like mindset stuff. It was awesome. It was brilliant. I think I messaged you every time. I was like, oh, "This is my new favorite
Yeah.
quote." But I've just been in your world for a little while and I've seen your brilliance. And you have this, you talk about something that people don't talk about enough. And you mentioned this in a book, like you talk about taking your baths, for example, like every night you have your bath time. And I would love for you to share a little bit more about just brief your story, why is taking care of yourself important for you?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I am a serial entrepreneur. I opened my first company when I was 27 years old. I had it for 9 years. I sold it for 40 times my original investment. And then I started coaching and I started working with other business owners in similar industries. Through that, I started this consulting company, Pricing Overhaul. But then I also developed alongside of it a retreat company. And I recently, a couple of months ago, sold that company. So I've now exited two companies that I built from the ground up, scaled, made profitable. And I was able to sell both businesses because they were established on recurring revenue. So
Mhm.
in the first company, 90% of my revenue was recurring. In the second company, 81% of the revenue was recurring. And so because I had established recurring revenue, I was able to sell both companies easily and for a lot of money. Now, along the way, I have learned that I am like I go all in, right? And so, like, I have an idea and I am quick to action. My husband says I'm very, what is the word? Not spontaneous, but why am I forgetting the English word? Anyway, impulsive. So I have this idea and I run with it. And I think that that has really led to my success because I have unwavering belief in anything that I want to build or achieve, I can do it and it will be successful. But with that comes this tendency to be all in and to go full speed. And not not taking breaks. And when I owned my first company, I lived that way, I functioned that way, and it landed me in the hospital. And I was very, very, very sick. And I was forced on bed rest. And so I learned after that that there has to be this balance between my need and addiction to constantly do, produce, and also you have to be able to shut it off. And
Mhm.
so I have some pretty strong, like non-negotiables. I walk 10,000 steps every morning. It is a non-negotiable. It is what I do before I log into work. Like that is a non-negotiable. And the other non-negotiable is I have to take a bath every night, like 30 to 45 minutes. I need to decompress. I need to, like, those are two non-negotiables for me in
Right.
order for me
Yes.
just to function.
Right. And I love you mentioned that in your book too, when you talk about like some people don't consider these essentials. And in my family, this is essential, right? And
Yeah.
I think that that's a very important message for women because it's so easy to just get involved fully, right? Like it's, at least it is for me as well. Like I just
Yeah.
go and it's like, that's all I see, that's all I breathe, that's all I think, like nothing else matters. And I
Mhm.
think it's so important to talk about that to women because, and we have similarity in our stories. You had your Pilates studio when you got sick, and I was running my fitness studio when my
Okay.
thyroid went to crap and all of that.
Yeah.
It's like I was at my worst when I was
Yeah.
in fitness, and you were in on bed rest when you
Yeah.
were, and if I remember correctly from your book, you had babies at that point as
Yeah.
well.
I had
Yeah,
two babies under the age of two. Like my oldest daughter wasn't even two yet. I was
yeah,
released from the hospital on her second birthday. And then I had a 7-month-old at the time.
yeah,
So it was
yeah.
like,
That is, I remember reading that and
yeah,
going like, I crashed BC before child, but
yeah.
like you had babies. I don't even want to know what that went through. But I want to ask you a very important question, what I consider very important. Did you at that time have the mindset of a hustler, of a go-getter? Did you at the time not see that you have to stop and pause?
Yeah, and then before, always, and still, I am a hustler. Like it's just my nature. And I grew up in the theater. So my parents were theater professionals. So I grew up on stage, backstage. I did a TV show when I was a kid. I was a musical theater major. And the number one rule in theater is the show must go on. And that is like this, that is a theme of my life. And I look at my parents who were very successful in their careers in professional theater, and I've never met two people who are harder workers because the show must go on despite whatever else is happening. Curtain has to rise. And so
Yes.
I think that I have taken that with me in everything that I've done. And everything that I've done really well and I've been successful at. So it has served its purpose. It definitely serves me well until it doesn't. And
Yes. And,
and
and,
then
and
I'm
that's
like,
that's so
okay.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so important because for people like us, we don't see it until we literally hit the wall. Like the body says, that's it. Like I'm
Yeah.
not negotiating with you. I'm not giving you a
Uh-huh.
choice. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you this is it.
Yeah.
And that's why to me, everything I do is to talk to women about high performance because I found that there's this, bro culture, like go, 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 and every advice is for men who run on a 24-hour cycle. And
Right.
then the other advice is for women who are like, slow down and talk about your nervous system. And there's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that for those women where it works for them. But for women like us, it's like, I need my speed. Like that's what
Yeah.
energizes me.
Yeah.
Like that's the
Yeah.
core of who I am. What I need to learn is how to implement things
Yeah.
in recovery. And I usually tell my clients, like, it's like an athlete, right? Like they train really hard, but
Yeah.
everything they do in the recovery is to make the training even better, right?
Yeah.
But we don't see that when we're running a business because, especially in the beginning of the business, right? Like I'm doing everything, I'm running all of the things, and I
Yeah.
got energy because I'm high on adrenaline, I'm
Yeah.
excited until the body says no.
Well, and then also, I think that because women also have the invisible workload that we all know, especially if you are a mother, there is your work and at work, right? In your career, your profession, and then you have work at home. And
Yeah,
typically, women have this ridiculous full-time invisible workload. Now, and so we get into this pattern of even our off time, we are still producing.
yeah,
We are still having to make things happen inside our personal family lives.
yeah,
And really trying to shift away from you don't have to produce every hour of every day. Like we are not here just to produce. We can
Yeah.
have moments of just being. And in that just being, all of these great ideas come our way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I heard that saying, we're beings, not doings. And that really hit me. Like,
Yeah.
oh, because I'm always doing, right? And you're
Uh-huh.
absolutely right about, generally speaking, about most women and the things that we have to do. And that is, it's called the invisible workload. Like nobody
Yeah.
sees it, but it's all the little details. I read recently that an average entrepreneur makes 33 to 35,000 decisions a day. And I was like, I mean, I knew it was a lot, but it is. It's the little tiny
Yeah.
stuff, which is why optimizing your brain and your body has to come along. Like it has
Yeah.
to be a part of it.
Well, and it's
So,
interesting because I often say, I can't tell you how many times a day I say, I have decision fatigue, mostly at night after, work is said
right.
and done. Kids are home from school, after school activities, all the things. And then my husband wants to ask me about our home renovation and our remodel. And I'm like, "Ah, I don't know. I have decision fatigue. Can I just let you make that call?" Like,
Yeah. Yes. So for me, it's mornings. I'm a night owl and my brain operates past the morning. And my son is the
ah,
same way. My husband is completely the opposite. So literally this morning, I just got up, it's like 9 a.m. And he just asked me a question about some bill. And I was like, are you seriously asking me that at 9 o'clock in the morning? I have no idea what's going on right now.
we are on
So
complete
yeah,
opposite ends. I'm up at 5:30 a.m. naturally. I'm most creative between 6 and 9 a.m. Like that is for me. And by 7 o'clock at night, I am cooked. I am
that's
done.
my
I want to
husband.
be asleep in bed by 9, like done.
That's my husband. I'm the opposite. And this is also important because this is where it's not a cookie cutter thing. Like
Right.
every woman needs to know where her energy is the highest, where it's the lowest, and then organize and shape the day
Yeah.
accordingly. What's interesting though is you're doing your 10,000 step in the morning. So you do that first before you even get into
Yeah.
your creative mode.
Well, I actually do my creative mode at the same time I'm moving because for me,
Got it.
movement is very
Yes.
like that's when my energy is flowing and
Yes.
that's when I'm most creative. So,
Yes.
I mean, now that the kids are back in school, my walk is happening right after I take them to school, right? So I take them
Right.
to school, I drop them off, I come home, I go straight into either my walk or I do Pilates, or I work out with a personal trainer. But while I'm walking, that is when I am hit with all of these ideas. One, it's discernment. Which ideas are worth moving forward on, and which ones are just like, okay, let's let that one go. But I voice my ideas into Chat GPT. And I'm writing while I am out walking, or I'm like, okay, note this. I want to write a piece on this, da 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 da, or whatever. And so my movement is my creativity.
Yes. So you obviously had the moment of having to go to a hospital and be in bed rest when you were
Yeah.
like, something's got to give. But you were obviously trying to make the business work, trying to, be a new mom, doing all the things, which I know birthed also pricing overhaul, right? Because
Uh-huh.
that was your story. Like that's where
Yeah.
you were like, I need to set my prices differently. With that said, how has taking care of yourself influenced your business or businesses?
Oh, I mean, it's just your business is only as evolved and as strong as you are as the owner. So I recently in February joined Genius Network, which is very well known. It's for 7, 8, and 9-figure business owners. And I went to this meeting, a very little minnow in a vast ocean of crazy successful entrepreneurs. And like, okay, I qualified to be in the room, but you get in there and there are people making hundreds of millions of dollars, annually. And I realized that the majority of the conversations, I would say 80 to 85% of the conversations, were all around how to be a better human.
Mm,
Everyone in that room is focused on health. Everyone is focused on wealth, not from financial, but like internal, emotional, spiritual, intellectual wealth. Um, the food that is served is like seed oil free. Every part of the activities are hikes after our meetings. Like everyone is about making sure that their physical body and then also their mind and spirit are optimized. And I was like, I didn't think I was joining like a wellness networking group. I thought I was joining a business networking group. But I guess at some point when you are no longer chasing after money because you already have it, what is the thing that is worth pursuing? And ultimately, it's your wellness. Like, and these people are as successful as they are because they are in shape. They take care of them.
yes,
And I'm not talking about physical shape. I'm not talking about like,
yes,
a certain body type. They are in shape mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, obviously.
yes.
But it was very like, oh, the pathway to making more money isn't taking care of yourself. It's like a lesson that keeps coming on repeat.
Absolutely. To me, wealth, and I think the wealth has been turned around to just, for most people, mean money, where to me, wealth is abundance, and that is in every area of your life.
Yeah.
I heard this recently. There's a psychologist who works for Harvard. Long story short, they asked him, what is the number one thing that you see as a pattern with highly successful people? He said, crazy energy levels. And you
Yeah.
don't get crazy energy levels if you don't optimize the way you function as a
Yeah.
human being.
Yeah.
Because, I tell this to people all the time, like, you complain that gas prices are high, but you'll still pay it to put good gas in your car. Why are you putting crap in your body? Like, you cannot take
Right?
care of a car as a vehicle and not take care of this as a
Yeah.
vehicle, because I mean, our brain is so sensitive to fatigue, to sugar, to alcohol,
Yeah.
to all the things. And
Yeah.
it's like your little walk in the morning. Someone can take the same walk and they may lack the ideas and decisions because they didn't take care of
Yeah.
themselves the night prior, or they
Yeah.
didn't sleep well or whatever.
Well,
Yeah.
and I would say, like, for me, I go to bed very early. Like, I'll add one other thing to my non-negotiable list is sleep.
Yeah.
I have to sleep. I have always been this way. I am a horrendous bitch if I do not sleep. Like I am not I'm not a pleasant version of
Yeah.
myself. And so like I need to go to bed at 9. Like that is what I need to do. And I typically sleep from like 9 until 5:30 or 6 o'clock. I get like solid
Yes.
sleep every night.
Yes. I'm the same way, just shifted later.
A
Go to bed till like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
midnight. I have a rule for myself, like not past 1 a.m. Like, but
Yeah.
I've been like that all my whole life. I suffered in school. Do you know how much I suffered? This is why I homeschool. I suffered in school when I had to get up in the morning, and I would stay up and read all night, and I would go to bed at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and my mom would wake me up at 7, and I would beg her to help me, to let me stay home, because I I could read all night, but not school
Yeah.
books. That was me. Like it
Yeah.
was a different thing. But
I
this is
don't even
again,
remember the
no,
last
that
time I slept. I stayed up until 1 a.m. I couldn't even tell you the last time.
I couldn't tell the last time I went to. I could go to bed at 9. That's not a problem. I just won't fall asleep. Like there's no.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
my kid, the same way. And I'm
Same way.
thankful that he's the same way, because God
Yeah.
forbid he would wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I wouldn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
But my husband is on a completely opposite schedule. But this is again why working with there are certain things in the body that we cannot win over biology. Like you said,
Yeah.
sleep, movement, food, what I call fuel. It's like you cannot make shortcuts there. You just can't. So what would you tell a woman who's listening to this and she's like, Well, it's easy for you to say, Erin, now you made all the money and you're not like, working all the hours. Like, what would you teach to someone who's saying she doesn't have time because she's running a business, maybe mid stages, early stages, or growth stages?
Yeah, so I mean, I've run businesses in early stages. I've started and founded 3 companies and have sold 2 of them, you know? So I know what that's like. It really is, even when I ended up in the hospital, 2 babies under the age of 2, owned a studio, was a Pilates teacher trainer and a regional director for an international Pilates certification program. I had to find the time. I had to. The truth is, we do have the time. It's just we are allocating our time resources to things that do not provide an ROI. If we looked at our cell phones and we looked at our screen time, you can very easily see, oh, you have spent X amount of time. For most people, it's hours on social media today. Imagine if you condensed that time, not in the little blocks that every time you went to social media and opened it up, but imagine you condensed that time and you reallocated that chunk of time to a bath, to a walk, to going to bed 45 minutes sooner. I actually have this, have you heard of it? It's called Brick,
Oh,
where,
no.
okay, so you can brick your phone where it's a physical,
Yes, yes,
you tap your
yes.
phone on it and you have to put it somewhere inconvenient. Like it has to be put, upstairs in your laundry room or something, so that in the middle of the day when you're doing whatever you're doing and you want to go on your phone to doom scroll on social media, you can't physically do it until you go up, you take your phone and you physically tap it on the brick to unlock it. And I have this and it's a game changer.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
I teach my clients to get the app blocking app. It's literally apps that block
Yeah,
certain
yeah,
apps.
yeah.
Or log out of social media when you're done, so that when you get there and you're like trying to log in, it's like you wake up and you're like, oh,
The
why am I even
problem with
on this?
the problem with those and why I ended up going this route is because I've done all of those and I know how to override.
Yeah, I had to find, I used an app blocking app, and I had to find one that I didn't even want to learn how it works, so I
Yeah, yeah,
couldn't figure it out. And I have finally, in the last few months, worked so much on myself because I was like determined to conquer it
yeah.
personally. I have finally worked on it, and I can still catch dopamine
Uh-huh.
chase,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
not like I'm so
Yeah.
like highly aware of myself, and then I'll stop myself. But for a long time, I had the blocking app, and exactly after a while, I would change to another one that
Yeah.
I don't know how to unlock. Yeah.
Yeah. The
Oh,
thing about
it's
this,
serious, and you're right. It takes up hours. I think every Sunday, the most phones give people
yeah,
updates. I know
yeah,
I
they're
have a
updating.
client who
Uh-huh.
told me that, and she was like, "Oh my God, I didn't even realize this was happening." It's like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. You can also, while you still have the dopamine high, you can like go for a walk and listen to something or change it up so that you
So,
get the high from a podcast or a YouTube or
yeah.
something.
I'm actually going to show you something. I'm going to see if so I'm going to take you off my dock if it's okay.
Yeah.
And okay, so right here is my office. So right here, I've got like a walking pad that I have tucked away.
Uh-huh.
You see it? And then
Yep.
I have this like portable desk right here.
Uh-huh.
So you can also like, and they're tucked away. I don't have like this gigantic treadmill, but I can very easily just pull the walking pad out, pull that desk up, and I can like walk. So like if there are days where I can't get out or can't do something, or if it's raining or whatever, I can at least still be on calls with clients on my walking pad. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that's helpful.
As the saying goes, and it's cliche, but it's true, when there's a will, there's a way. There literally is always a way. And I know one thing I do want to address, because we're both from health background is people think that it's easy for people like us. Like
Mm.
I want people to know how many times we don't feel like working out.
Right.
Like,
Oh my God, constantly.
right? But you made it a non-negotiable. Like for me, it's the same thing. I have a little home gym, and I made it a non-negotiable to
Yeah.
go in there at a certain time. And I don't question, do I work out? Do I feel like it? I go, and then I determine based on my
Yeah.
energy levels what I need to do. And
Yeah.
you took it even further. You have all the equipment there. You go on a morning walk, you have a trainer, and you still do Pilates, right?
Yeah, yeah. I actually just recently returned to Pilates after years. So I sold my studio 8 years ago and then I like fell out of the practice. And then I recently returned and I'm practicing 2 to 3 times per week.
Interesting, because after I sold my studio, I didn't lift weights for a while either.
I think
I
you're
had
just
my
like
kid,
mentally
and
burned out and you're just
I
like,
think
I
so,
need to
yeah.
completely detach.
Just not have anything to do with it. I'm still not back at the gym, and I'll tell you, like, my identity has completely shifted as well. I had a fitness studio, but I would work out at a local gym. Like, I had to, like, mentally get away
I
from,
paid another
yeah,
studio to do private sessions at their
yeah.
studio because I had to get out of my physical space.
Yes, yes, yes. I did the same thing. I would work
Yeah.
out at the gym, and I don't think I'll ever be at the gym anymore. It changed. My personality has shifted. Like obviously, I'm building muscle. I have my little home gym, but I can't do. It's like there was a shift within me. So
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
again, it's interesting because seasons shift too.
Yeah.
So speaking of seasons, what is something that you've learned about your body in this season that you
Oh.
wish that you knew 10, 20 years earlier?
That 10 or 20 years ago when I thought I was fat, I wasn't. I mean, is that
We all
terrible?
have that.
Is that terrible to say? I'm like, oh my God, I have always, because I was a dancer, I've always had body dysmorphic disorder, and I always thought that I was bigger than I was. And I look back at pictures. I mean, I had an eating disorder when I was in my teens, and I look back and I'm like, girl, you look good. Even, like I think that is definitely,
That's
but
a big one.
I was a big one. But I also did like, I did some crazy intense stuff. I was a ballet dancer, so I was on point. I've had two reconstructive foot and ankle surgeries thanks to it. I was a marathon runner, so my hips and my back are, what's the nice way to say it? They're
They're
pretty
sending you
good.
a bill.
Yeah, yeah, they're a little cranky. They're a little fussy. And I mean, I guess in your younger years when nothing hurts and you push yourself because that's the fun of it. But now I'm kind of like, I wish I didn't push myself as much. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I lucked out. I have a kind of a crazy story. I had back pain because of all the lifting, and it got so bad. And one night I was like, that's it. And I actually went into meditation and healed my back in a
Oh
night.
my
It's
God. I mean,
crazy. It's crazy. I can't replicate it, but I
yeah,
know we have that power, and that's kind of like
yeah,
a
yeah.
frustrating thing. Like I know we can do it, but if yes, I feel like 40s and up are like showing you, amplifying everything that you've done, and also like, listen, like if you're not going to start thinking about longevity now, I'm going to make your life a
No,
living
listen,
hell. Like,
I'm now like and I don't hide this. A year ago, I did upper and lower blepharoplasty where I had the excess skin and fat around my eyes removed. I just got Invisalign yesterday. Oh my God, which is why
awesome.
I'm talking with this lisp, but you can't really see it right now. I'm using this like chemotherapy cream on my forehead to
Okay.
target precancerous and cancerous skin cells. And
Okay.
those are all coming to the surface. I just had like all my hormone levels tested. I have my a follow-up appointment on Friday to start talking about like some low dose like HRTs. I'm just telling you everything. I am microdosing GLP-1 right now, which is like a freaking game changer. I'm got a cocktail of peptides. Like I am like, it is costing me a lot of money right now. And I would say 10 years ago, if I had known, oh my. Like it's crazy now how things
Yes.
that I used to take for granted, you know,
Yes.
10, 15, 20 years ago are just like, whew, okay, well now we need a little support.
Yes, but here's what I want listeners to hear. You have the foundation set,
Oh
and
yeah.
then you're doing this, right? Where I think societally women only see the upper part, right?
Right?
And like hormones do shift, but they're a part of the story. You
Right.
cannot avoid movement. You cannot
No,
avoid
no, no.
eliminating, like you cannot avoid the
Right.
foundation. Like muscle even influences how we process sugar. It influences how our brain functions. It influences everything, right? And so it's like, I want women just to hear that carefully because it's like, oh, I'm going to do the GLP. I'm going to do peptide. Yes, but you
And
need to
right.
set the foundation
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
which
yeah.
I love because you're doing it all. And why not? And yes, if we all knew it 10, 20 years ago, we would have done things. Or would we? Right?
No,
Because like in 20s, you're like,
you're
I'll
like,
never get to that
I'm never
age.
gonna feel that. I'm never
Right?
I can't imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, I'm never gonna do that when I'm 40. Yeah, okay. All right, well,
Yeah.
cool. I love all the things you're doing because you're really investing in
Yeah.
yourself. And it is actually showing not just in your energy, obviously, but obviously in your businesses too.
Yeah.
So you are getting more creative and you're producing more because you're actually investing in yourself. Now, was there ever guilt over investing in yourself and putting yourself first?
So I have never felt guilty about investing in myself. Never. I will say I have that has not been something that I personally have dealt with, although the majority of women who I work with do feel that way. Um, I I don't know why I never have. Maybe it was because like growing up in theater, in order to be successful, you had to take the dance lessons, you had to take the voice lessons, you had to do certain things. And there was an investment in time, money, energy, practice. So the idea of investing in myself has always just been, well, yeah, that's what you have to do.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it probably has to do a lot with your parents. I met a girl who invests quite a bit in herself, and she's younger too. She's like
Yeah.
in her 30s. And she said it's her parents. She said her mom doesn't really do that, but it's her dad. Her
Yeah.
dad always supports a woman doing whatever she
Yeah.
wants to feel better, right? And she was like, I never had guilt over it. So that's a great one because, and I always help women like reframe that, like, oh, they're like, oh, I spent this. I'm like, you didn't spend it, you
That's
invested.
it. Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a clear ROI coming from that investment.
The
And I'm
money
all
is going
about like,
somewhere.
right.
The money is going somewhere, right?
Yes.
It's very rare that somebody is just like stockpiling cash. No, you're taking your financial resources and you're allocating it somewhere. So if you don't allocate it in yourself, you're going to allocate it someplace else.
And also, I see that correlation to business. If you don't know how to invest and wait for the return, sometimes immediate, sometimes not,
Yeah.
the same thing goes in business. You're never going to learn to invest, and you have to invest in order to grow.
You, you have to. Like, there is no business without risk. Like business is risk. And so when there are people who want to work with me, but they're like, I don't feel comfortable investing that much. Nobody feels comfortable investing that much. Like I don't feel guilty about it, but like when I put down $75,000 in cash to join Genius Network, did I want to spend $75,000?
Right.
No, but I did it because I knew that there would be a return on it. And so, like,
Oh, yeah.
one of the things that keeps a lot of business owners very, very small is we have been told to bootstrap and to only pay for things when we have the cash. But, like, the people who make the most money, that is not how they do it. They borrow
Yes.
money, they leverage other people's money to
So
make money
PM,
for themselves. Like that is how business works. And so this idea of, I know I need to work with a coach, but I can't afford it yet. So I have to wait until I make enough money to be able to afford it. You'll never make the money. Like you'll never
no,
do
women did
it.
this when I was in fitness. They were like, well, I'm going to go to the gym down the road to start it. And I'm like, that's never going to happen. You
It's never
had
going to
that gym
happen.
there for 20 years, right?
Yeah.
And I'm here to help you from day one. And it kind of correlates to actually what you talk about, which is pricing overhaul, how to
Yeah.
structure your prices properly, right? Because it's the same mentality, right? Like, I don't want to spend, right? It's the scarcity mindset. Just like pricing overhaul is like, put the price on based on what you needed, not based on what other people have it, not
Right.
based on
Right.
what you dreamt about, but not
Right.
just put the price mathematically calculated that you need to have,
Yep.
and then you can have more. And I think, again, this is what we talked about is as you grow, your business grows, as you evolve, your business evolves. That's why you cannot separate health and
Right.
wealth, because if you're in a scarcity mindset about your health, you're going to be scarcity
Yeah.
mindset about your business, and you stayed at a certain level. You
Yeah.
can't
Yep.
grow from there.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
anyone who has ever told me I have to wait until I make more money and then when I can afford you, I'll work with you has never worked with me. Has
yeah,
never. And there are hundreds of them who have been in my DMs for years saying, one day I'm going to work with you. One day I just have to do X, Y, and Z. And they never work with me and they never get to where they want to be. It just, the moment somebody says that to me in a DM, I don't want to write them off, but
yeah,
I immediately know, oh, that's really sad. This person is
yeah,
never going to it. Not that they have to do it with me, not that I'm like
yeah.
the end all be all. It's
Right.
regardless if it's me, if it's another coach, if it's something
Yep,
else.
yep.
Once I see that mindset, I'm like, oh, that's really sad. They're not going to achieve what they want to achieve.
Yes. In my 20 plus years of experience, even from fitness days, there was
Yeah.
one girl who, it was in the very beginning when I was still a trainer. She said, I'm going to save up. And she came back, and I was like, yeah, no, you're not. And 2 months later, she came back and she put the money. I was like,
Wow.
impressive. And it never happened again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Exactly.
there was another thing I was going to say about that, which is there was something about your book when you had a client. And this was such a good story. You had a client, she was late with payments, and you allowed it. And then you realized, I'm the one that has to change. And you said something to her and she didn't want to work with you anymore. You were like, it sucked because I loved working with her too. But it was like you had to prioritize yourself and you couldn't do
Yeah.
it anymore.
Well, and also I had to realize my role in the relationship as the enabler because I was allowing the behavior to happen. And it wasn't just with me, it was with other things. So, like,
Yes.
she was having a hard time getting her clients to pay her invoices.
Yes.
And they were always late, and she was chasing after them. And then
Right.
she was late making her payments to me because everything is on auto charge in
Right.
my system, but they kept
Yeah.
declining. And then we would give her an extension. And finally, I realized, wait a minute, she's attracting clients who are delayed in making payments because she's delayed in making payments. And holy crap, I'm her coach and I'm enabling it. I was like, okay, this ends with
Yes.
me.
This is why one decision that we make,
Mhm.
whether it's health, whether it's relationship, whether it's boundaries, whether it's money, whatever it is, one decision has such a huge trickle effect because that behavior was probably in different areas of your own
Right,
life. And
right.
then you were like, okay, this ends with me. Now I'm aware of it and it's never happening again, which is also why another reason why it's easy for you to just be like, you know what, I need to invest in me because
Yeah,
everything past ends with me. I love that.
yeah.
So, if someone spent a week living exactly like you, what do you think would surprise them the most?
Oh my God, what was surprising the most? That I probably have undiagnosed ADD and I too become overwhelmed. Right now I'm in like I'm easily overstimulated, but that's also like a result and a side effect of perimenopause, which I'm working on with the HRD right now. But they would probably like look at me and they're like, "Oh my God, you're kind of like all over the place sometimes." You seem to have it all together, but you forget basic words.
I believe that if you ADHD is almost a prerequisite for entrepreneurs, and if
Yeah.
it's not a prerequisite, you will develop it. Like I
I,
don't think you can go without it.
it's so funny because when I joined Genius Network, among many discoveries, I'm sitting in this room and I'm like, this is a room filled with ADD.
Ah,
Like everyone here has ADD or some version of it somewhere.
some version of it. Yes.
Because the
I
conversations are literally, I mean, like ping pong balls. It's like
yeah.
we gotta circle back. We gotta circle back, people. Let's
I don't think I've ever met an entrepreneur who doesn't have a version of it, which is why we communicate the way we do. And
yeah.
my husband, he always gets pissed off when I interrupt him. I'm like, talk faster, man. And I'm already on the 20th thing in my head. Like there were so many things that, or there's like a 2 minute delay and I'll tell him something. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I had 17 conversations already in my head. I made 15 decisions. I
Or out
don't,
of
you need
nowhere,
to catch up.
I say something out of nowhere and he's like, where did that come from? And I'm
Yes.
like, do you really want to know the train that got me here? Because I'm like, we can trace it back and you'd be like, how the hell did you get there? You know?
Yeah, exactly. And I start a sentence as if we're mid-conversation, like,
Yes.
so about that thing. Yes,
And he's
I
like,
think so. I think all
yes,
entrepreneurs listening to this are like, oh, I'm not the only one. No, no, it's an exam. It's necessary.
yeah.
So tell me a little bit more deeper. What example are you hoping to set for your children, for your community, for your clients,
Yeah.
for your legacy?
Well, it's interesting because I don't know that I'm like out to set any example, just that my kids, I have two daughters, they're 11 and 13, and they only know a mom who owns businesses. They don't know me ever working for somebody else. And so what I found very interesting is when you ask them what they want to be when they grow up, they talk about what type of business they want to own. Like they
Yeah,
never have ever said a traditional job.
right.
It's always, oh, well, right now one wants to own a gymnastics gym. Like that's what she
Yeah.
wants. And apparently we just had back to school shopping and I was unreasonably unwilling, quote unquote, to buy them each more than two pairs of new shoes. They don't need more than two. They've got plenty. But I was unreasonably unwilling was the quote. And also, I pay a very cheap allowance because they get $2 a day for allowance, $14 a week. And what did I'm like, I'm not budging. Like, this is what it
Yeah,
is.
right. Your thing is math.
And so over the weekend, they put together flyers and they started a dog walking business after school. It started yesterday and they already have their first paying client.
Well, look at that.
So I'm like,
I love
okay.
little things we do for our children like that because my kid is 7, so he is very much still in the early ages.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm planting those seeds hard, girlfriend, like
Mhm. Yeah.
hard, because he's into cars and vehicles, right? And he's like, I want to be a bus driver. I'm like, no, you want to own a transportation business. And he's like, what's the difference? So then we talked about the difference. Or like today, he got money from grandma and we're teaching him like to not have to spend it all because he's got the
Yeah.
whole like blow money, savings money,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like all the
Yeah, yeah.
5 categories. He's got his little envelopes. And so this is the first time when the blow money has been like bigger, right?
Yeah.
And we're like teaching him that. So today we went to the toy store and he's like looking and looking. I'm like, if nothing is a yes, don't buy it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, but I said, listen, if you're willing, because I want to teach him patience. I never had that. I had to teach that myself. And I said, if you walk away today and you don't want anything and you walk
Yeah.
away a little disappointed, I said, I'll give you $5 extra. And he's like, let's do that. I'm like, okay, like trying to teach him
Yeah.
patience, like trying to teach him that. But I love hearing all this from entrepreneurs, how they see things in their children
Yeah.
because, yeah. And you know what
Well,
I found? Actually, a lot of entrepreneurs are not focused on the whole big legacy. It's more like I am doing what I'm here and getting inspiration to do, and then that has the effect. I
yeah.
think that the word legacy may even just put like too much pressure where it's almost fake, where
Yeah.
when you're producing, like when you go for a walk and you get your ideas and you're making your businesses work, it's worth so much more because
Yeah.
it's in the present time.
It's
Beautiful.
funny because you told the story about your son. So we were doing back to school shopping, and I gave each girl a budget of $300 each for new clothes. And I agreed that their two new pairs of shoes would not be included in that budget. Parker, my little one, 11, $300.47. And she paid the 47 cents. And then my older one, Stevie, still had money in her budget. And Parker came shopping with us, and there were things that she wanted. And she paid for them with her own money. And we were at H&M on Sunday, and she finds a shirt, and it was going to cost her $12. H&M, it's not expensive. But we're in line to pay for it. And she's like, I don't even know if I really want to spend the money on this shirt. And I
Mhm.
was like, do you feel like if you put the shirt down and you don't buy it, when you walk out this door, will you still be thinking about the shirt? And she goes, no. And I go, then don't buy it. I said, then now
Yeah.
if you know that you're going to leave this store and you're going to think about how much you want this shirt, then yeah, buy the
Then
shirt.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, what's your approach with them when it comes to health or taking care of themselves? Because that's like the
Well,
same
I
thing.
mean, okay, so my little one is a competitive gymnast on the USA gymnastics track. So she's at the gym 16 hours a week. And during summer, she was in training Monday through Thursday from 9 until 4.
Oh, wow.
But she just loves it, loves it. And then my older one is a dancer. So she goes to an arts middle school. So she dances, has 3 dance classes at school, and then she dances after school. And she's like there for 13 to 14 hours a week. So we don't really put like a ton of emphasis into like exercising. It's just
Right.
find something that forces you to move your body that feels good and you enjoy. And
I love
that,
that approach.
yeah. So that's what
I
they
heard a
do.
statistic. I heard a statistic that around 95% of successful people have played some sports in their youth. So I'm already like planting that seed in my
Yeah.
kid. Like he's still too young, like you got time, but I was like, start choosing the sport that you want. But I'm the same way, like you have to enjoy it because
Yeah.
if you're dreading it, then I think it's sending the completely opposite
Yeah.
message.
We had two rules. They had to choose a sport, and I do consider dance a sport because I was a
Right.
ballet
It
dancer.
is
So you
movement.
have to do something physical, some sort of movement-based activity, and you have to do one art. So
Love it.
yeah, because
Yes.
I come from a family of artists. So the little one is a visual artist, and the older one is a ballet dancer. And she just says,
Love it.
"Mommy, I got both, and I got the physical and the art in one thing, one activity." And I
Yeah.
go, "Nailed it."
Nailed it. I love it.
So
Yeah, art is also super important. We
yeah,
do, well, at this age, coloring and stuff, because I think that it is just a way to keep working on
yeah,
creativity
hmm
over and over again, and knowing when you don't like something, knowing when you do like something, knowing
right,
that you're going to have bad ideas.
yeah,
I just feel like art is just so crucial to
yeah.
development to
I
anyone, like even adults, like having time to actually get into creative mode is
yeah,
super
yeah.
helpful. So back to you. What does thriving in your 50s, 60s, and beyond look like for you?
Ooh, what is thriving in my 50s, 60s? Well, having a house in Lake Bled, Slovenia. I want to have a property there. And I
Awesome.
also want to have one in France. Um, that right now those are like the major, just continuing to travel. I feel like it's so hard for me to say what does thriving look like at 50, 60, and 70 because I feel like in my 40s, I'm already thriving. So I'm like, if I could just have more of this, and if I can
Right.
continue having this, that is great.
Is this the life you imagined in your 30s?
Is this the life I imagined in my 30s? I think my 30s, I was in such a, I don't even know what I imagined in my 30s because I had two babies, like the 30s
Yeah,
is when I had my kids and they were really
it's a
little.
blur.
Yeah, I don't even remember other than looking back at pictures and like, oh, wow.
I'm the same way with my kid. I'm like, I don't remember this. Like the other
Yeah.
day, my mother-in-law was visiting and she's like, "Oh, remember when he was little, he used to do this?" And I was like,
No?
I don't. I was so
Yeah.
sleep deprived. I don't remember it.
Yeah, I think
Um,
that like I'm trying to think. Like I was 36 when I sold my first company. Um, and I was starting my business, my consulting business at that stage. And then like my dad passed away when I was 39 and we had that whole COVID. So I don't know. I kind of feel like that whole period of time is like
yeah.
like,
Oh my
you
gosh.
know?
Yeah, we have a lot of similarities. I sold my business at 36.
Okay. Yeah.
36, exactly
Uh-huh.
36. Yeah.
Yeah, 36.
And yeah, I lost my dad during COVID actually too. It's crazy.
Yeah, my dad was
Um,
in April of 2021 when I
Mine was 22. So yeah, very similar, kind of crazy.
yeah.
So tell me, what are you working on these days? You have amazing life, amazing
Yeah.
businesses. You're doing the pricing overhaul for people who want a part of a chapter of your book, which I highly recommend. It's such a great book, but it's so funny, totally unexpectedly funny. I'll put the link below, they
Yeah.
can grab that. But what is something you are working on these
Yeah,
days?
so I'm excited because I'm in development for the new pricing overhaul software. So right now, all of my methodology lives in spreadsheets. And so I'm developing a software right now that takes it out of spreadsheets and into like an actual real platform. So we are beta testing right now. And actually, if I can, one, people can download a free sample of my book at the link that
Yes.
but we're in beta testing right now. And so I have certified pricing overhaul coaches. And we are looking for people who are interested in overhauling their pricing with an emphasis on establishing recurring revenue in their business. But we're looking for some very specific business types. We're looking for like lawyers, accountants, bookkeepers, therapists, coaches, chiropractors, acupuncturists, like web developers, social media agencies, massage therapists, copywriters, anyone like outside of the boutique fitness industry. We have like plenty of beta testing on that. But if anyone watching has one of these types of businesses or something similar and is interested in being a beta tester, we are bringing on beta testers for a 4-week pricing overhaul for like hardly anything. It's like 22.22. That's it.
And just give a little insight of why is pricing overhaul important for people, because I
Yeah.
don't think we touched up enough on that.
Okay, so pricing overhaul is a methodology that helps you establish 50 to 70% of your revenue from recurring revenue sources, meaning every single month you have a guaranteed amount of cash coming into your business. It's important because it stabilizes cash flow. It helps increase client retention. So you're not having to focus on funneling leads in all the time. Your clients get better results because they're more consistently working with you. And then it also increases your profitability. It increases how much you as an owner pay yourself every single month. And it increases the overall value of your business. So it actually positions you to be able to sell one day if that's something you want. And
One
so, yeah,
key thing that I would add to that is when it comes to pricing overhaul, when it comes to work you do, I should say,
yeah,
is you're teaching people to put the prices on based on value and based on their business
yeah,
rather than what everybody else in the industry is
yeah,
doing. So you're helping people put the right numbers in the right order to see it as a business. Not I'm as a coach. I'm coach running a business, and
Yeah.
these are the structures that I need to put in my business. So it's not just, hey, let's raise the prices. It's actually, there's a whole math and involved
Yeah.
in it to help people understand why that's important and how to actually set the right numbers. I just
Yeah,
wanted to
it's not
clarify that.
arbitrary. It's not like you're arbitrarily just pulling numbers out of the air that feel good or looking at your competitor and saying, well, I'm going to charge a little bit more or a little bit less. It's literally breaking down every single penny in your business and then mapping out different scenarios. And if this is the scenario you want, meaning this is how much you want to pay yourself, this is what you want your profit margin to be, this is how many hours you want to work, then you have to charge this amount because
Yeah.
otherwise it's mathematically impossible to achieve that scenario.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the key because when I grabbed your book, I mean, I loved getting the sample. That's how I saw your post on LinkedIn and I grabbed the sample and I was like, let me read it. And I just had to increase my prices. And there's always that mindset, like, am I doing the right thing? And it was like
Yeah,
right on point. And I love that your book addressed the mindset behind it because it's such an important piece. It's
yeah,
not just random throwing numbers at
yeah.
the screen. Cool. Thank you for being an amazing guest, Erin. This was a pleasure. We will put all the links, send me the link for the beta testing as well.
Okay,
We'll
cool.
include all of that. So viewers, you guys can have that in the links below. And in every clip that you see from this shorter clips, it will take you to the longer video and you can get the clips there as well. Thank you, Erin, once again. And thank you for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.